Okay, we'll come to data tab, data validation. Yes. Yeah, I'll go it for erasing. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Huh. Now, 1 minute. Am I seeing anything? No. Yes. Oh, still showing up. What about here? Yeah, it's still showing up. So let me erase it. 1 minute. Huh? Yeah. Let me select this entire area, data validation. And in here, allow, there's something called list over here. List, how will it be? I'll just come, once I finish, you'll be able to understand. But then what is a basic list? As yesterday also I was telling you in our IRCTC, while like booking your train tickets, you do mention your source and destination, correct? And both your source station and your destination station, they come up as a drop down list. That same kind of thing only you're going to see here. But say suppose as the first one, I want to have maybe India, uh, Pakistan, Jafar Express. Okay. Uh, okay, let's not put it. Bangladesh, China. Okay. And maybe what else? Maybe Bhutan. Yeah. So 4 countries, just as an example only I've come off. Or if even if you don't want, say suppose you just want a drop down list with values like just say yes, no. That's also possible. Only 2 values, yes and no. And in here, it's something like your in cell drop down. There's a tick over here. No? Checkbox is done. Na? So why? You'll just know in a minute. I can see drop down. This is your drop down. Okay. So if you uncheck there, you will not see the drop down. Okay. So I can just come here and choose whatever I want, either a yes or no. Sorry. So suppose here you have a data sheet or you have an Excel sheet wherein you are, a particular column is there which you are having to update the status of any particular task, whether it's completed or pending or not yet started. If that are those 3 options you want to provide in that particular column, na, just put it as a list. Just create a small list, drop down list, and put in those 3 values: your completed, pending, or maybe on in progress, and not yet started. Maybe that ways. Okay, so instead of this yes no, I can put that also. Say I just come here instead of yes no, let me put it this way. Completed, uh, in progress, not yet started. Okay, so 3 status I am having. I can just come here and see completed. This particular first task is completed. What about the next task? In progress. Maybe the third task is not yet even started. Likewise, I can do. This is your basic drop down list. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, but then here in you, if you have seen me, I have directly like in here, I've manually written those 3 status over there, right? In the source area, I have just written it, whatever values I want to display in that menu or the drop down list, I have written. Okay, very small values, like maybe 3 or 4 or maybe, okay, maximum 5. It's better that I write it manually. But say suppose the list is something like around 100 values are there. I want to have it in my the drop down list. Say the consider the example of the train ticket itself. Source, you say source or destination, you cannot have 3 to 4 values now. Obviously all the stations wherein the all the train routes, the stations, each and every station, their station code will be very much available in the drop down list of both your source and destination. Am I right? Which means that list is pretty huge, right? So in that case, how can I really deal with that? I'll show you that just in the next one only. Example wise, I am having 5 places names over here, but then I've maintained it at different location within the same sheet only. But from I6 to I10, I've maintained that. Okay. Not that how am I going to use this? Just have a look. I go to data validation. Again, allow list. Okay. In source, I'll just select these 5 values. So it has selected from I6 to I10, and we are in the same sheet. That's why sheet name has not really come up over here. But had it been a different sheet, say this London, Scotland, and all, I'm maintaining at a different sheet. Say, as I told you, that source and destination, the station codes list going to be pretty huge. If I maintain it as a separate sheet, here in this itself, maybe a new sheet I create and maintain all the list over there, means at that time that name will come. Your sheet name will also come. But here I have just selected it within the same sheet. So I don't see that sheet name. That's the only thing. Now, am I seeing that? All okay?
Ma'am, could you
So
kindly zoom your screen, ma'am? Sorry to interrupt.
show my screen.
Zoom your screen, ma'am. Thank you.
But is this okay? So in source, wherever I go for allow list, either if I have very short, very minimal number of values, maybe maximum 5, or even say suppose 10 is there, okay. If you are fine with writing 10 values over here, go ahead. There's no objection. But if you don't want to write the 10 also, no, I will suggest that this is much better instead of manually writing it. Yeah, okay. Because I can alter the list. Only thing I would have to do is just come here and change the source. That ending cell reference only I have to change. I don't have to manually delete the values that I've written and then do the changes. Compared to that, the changing the cell reference, end cell reference will be much better. I just keep on adding data to the list where I'm just maintaining the list and put in over here, all pretty good. I'll be able to work it out. So list, are you all able to understand what's a list?
Ma'am, how to browse the data from different sheet or workbook?
I didn't understand. How to browse means?
Means like you told now this data is in same sheet, that's why we can add the data. If it is in different sheet, how it will show?
Okay. Different sheet means a sheet name will come, ma. I was in the same sheet. That's why sheet name didn't come.
Okay, okay.
Hmm. Any other questions? Are all okay?
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, good. So we have seen the data validation, all 4 types, how I can allow numbers or text values or dates or your drop down list. We have seen it. But then in our sorry, if at all we give any invalid value, I was getting the same error message. Here it was, what was the condition that we have applied? Okay, it's in between. Okay, 10 and 100. Okay, say suppose I come here and put as 9. This default message is only coming up all the time, right? So how to get rid of this? Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is, it just says this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. But it doesn't tell me what is the actual criteria. Does it tell me? No. Just it's on a generalized note, it says this particular value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined. So how to deal with that? Come to data validation. We have seen the first tab. Second one, input message. Now this is checked by default. That's the reason, like show input message when the cell is selected. What it is, I'll show you. In here, let me put as, okay. I told error, no? Sorry. I'll come to error alert. Show error alert after invalid data is entered. That's what happened. I entered 9. It popped me up the error message that it's not whatever the value you have mentioned. It's not satisfying the criteria very much defined for this cell. Okay, what I can do is I can have a customized one which says error message. It's a text value, numbers, na? And here numbers, what is the criteria over here? Between 10 and 100. Okay, I'll just put over here. Please enter whole numbers ranging between 10 and 100. I'll say both inclusive. I'll just copy this. Okay. Fine. So I've just told, since we are in the whole numbers, I've selected that whole numbers section. I'm just saying here, please enter whole numbers ranging between 10 and 100, both inclusive. Okay, now if I just come here and enter 9, please enter whole numbers ranging between 10 and 100, both inclusive. Is this error message better, more giving you a better information as to what is the valid value?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this customization I can apply, but there is one more part over here. I'll come to that. Let me select again the whole area. Okay, now it says show an error alert after the invalid data is entered. That's what it did now. We entered 9, it popped up that message, but that message was what I gave it. I have customized it, I gave it. All good. But then it was showing me this red into thing, right? That's nothing but this error style is stop. Stop is something that, okay, but then there are 3 of them. All 3 have different kinds of way the behavior is bit different. Say by default, if it's there, stop only, default is stop. If I allow it to go this way, say suppose here I come for 111, it says this, na? Now help, okay, leave that help portion, but there are 2 buttons over here, which is retry and cancel. Not in any way this particular stop style, error style, this into, what's the behavior of it is, it won't allow the invalid data to be accepted by Excel. When I set this kind of a message like error alert is that into thing, that stop thing, Excel will take care that the person has to enter the correct value. If he doesn't want to enter, that is different. Like he can go for cancel, whatever the original value will be there, that will be maintained. Or if it was a blank earlier, it will be very much maintained as a blank. But it will never allow him to, it will never allow the invalid data to be pretty much accepted. So that's the reason retry. If you go for retry, I can change it to the correct one. But say suppose purposefully I gave here this, again that retry only will option, retry and cancel option only will come. In no way it is going to very much accept that 4 5s. Is that okay? You have only 2 options. Either you go for a modification or you just leave the whatever your number you are trying to input, let's leave it as it is. Like you cannot go ahead. You're just going for the cancel option. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, I went for cancel now. What about the next two error styles? Let's come one by one.
Yeah.